Glad to be back, serving God's people in this very passionate kingdom couples workshops. This is part three of what I pray has been a dynamic series for everybody, learning about yourself, learning about your couple, your coupledom. Praise the Lord. And we're going to do our thing again here on part three. Let's have a word of prayer and we'll get started post haste. Father, we bless and we thank you for once again shining your mercies and your grace upon us. We ask, oh God, that you would be with us as we open up our hearts and our minds to more about how to do Christ loving the church and the church loving Christ. We bless you today, dear God, and we thank you for this food and drink we're receiving. We can't thank you enough, dear God, in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, well, today I want to start us off with a small exercise. And I'm asking everybody to participate with it. Simple but powerful. We're going to go to the next slide, although we're highlighting here. We're certainly talking about the 5 love languages. In fact, go right back to that real quick. What have you been doing with the knowledge of yourself and your love language? Have you been applying it? Have you been filling your loved one's love tanks? Do the people that were listed on your evaluation know how much they are filling your love tank? If you did the assessment, especially the new one that they put out, they being the love language, Dr. Chapman and his staff, it will share with you who in your family or friends that you list and how they are filling or how much they are filling your love tank. Some of you guys may have your spouse or friend or children or whoever, they might be 8 or 9 in terms of 8 or 9 out of a 10. So they are significant. You're drawing a lot of love from them, okay? And they might not even know it. If they don't know it, they might stop doing something that creates the love that you need. You might get upset with them because they're no longer doing it. But they didn't know that they were doing it. Are y'all following me? Because we don't always articulate our emotions. A few sessions ago, we did the emotion intelligence surveys. And it was a blessing. And that thing has been a blessing around the country. Okay? And the more I give it out, the more powerful it is. Okay? But when you look at these 5 love languages, words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, physical touch, you should know your mate's gift, show enough, or your mate's love language, show enough, and very much aware of it, and becoming so much aware of it that you grow into a master of it. You know how to do it, when to do it, all of that kind of good stuff to help improve your relationship. Relationships take work. Let's go to the next slide. This new tool we have rolled out here at Kenlin Consultants. It's a new tool, but it has been blessing folk all over the country. I want us to take a look at this today, and let's actually do it. We'll take about 15 minutes or so to do this tool today. It is your old-fashioned pros and cons. How many of you guys do pros and cons before you make a decision? I'm the only one? Okay. I have gotten so much with it that I'll put weight. I'll put numbers on stuff. I don't trust myself sometimes to make a decision. I need some calculations. Okay. I need some information to help me because I don't want to just, work off of my flesh. I want to harvest my best wisdom. And because the Bible says this, in the multitude of counsel, there's safety. I like to choose 1 or 2 people, 3 people sometimes, depending on the situation, and bounce my ideas off of them. So that way I'm getting I'm harvesting once again my best wisdom. Are y'all following me today? So this is what I want us to do. Take 10 or 15 minutes. As usual with all kindling tools, I ask you about yourself and I ask you about your mate. In the tradition of kindling, we don't have a type or right score until we have both people's input. So what do you mean, Dr. Brown? I will take, if Dr. Linda and I took this assessment, okay, I'll take my score about myself, which is on the left. I'll take my score about how I feel about my wife, which is on the right. I'll come up with how I feel based upon how many pros I list. Dr. Linda will do the same thing. And based upon how all four of these boxes, the results therein, that gives me a good measurement of where a couple is. Are y'all following me? It's not just one person over there tanking your spouse. Just all cons, boom. Okay? We have to balance that out and measure it. So the first question is pros and cons about yourself, and then pros and cons about your mate. Are you an engaging communicator? And this is overall, family, not just last night, not just this year. Okay, you need to go back to the beginning and give a quality assessment response for it. So are you an engaging communicator? That goes into initiating as well as participating. Okay? Intimacy, participant. Are you just there? Okay? Receiving but not putting energy into it. Okay? This is different than actual intercourse. This is intimacy. This is deep couch sitting. This is walks. This is dates. This is anything that you guys consider intimate. Okay? Spooning at night, I don't know. Whatever you guys consider intimate. 3, financial stability. Are you contributing something? Somebody said, well, hey, Dr. Brown, I'm a housewife. I'm a house husband. I'm not financially contributing. If you as a couple define whatever you're doing as providing a financial profit to the home, that counts to me. Might not count to you. But if you're doing something that provides financial stability, I would use that as a pro or con in terms of how you guys define it. Okay? Number 4, provides respect and honor. Respect/honor. Okay? 5, a satisfying sexual partner. Satisfying sexual partner. At the corner of my eyes, I'm looking at my wife. Fill this out. So I'm hoping she's putting some pros down there.
Of course.
By my name.
Absolutely.
Okay, 6, enjoying each other's presence. Enjoying each other's presence. Okay? Now, I might say, I'm on 6, we're halfway there. Please answer this truthfully, not just because you're sitting beside your spouse. Okay? Answer it truthfully. All right? 7, keeping one's promises. Boy, this is a big deal. Can't tell you how many times people felt disappointed in their spouse, in their significant other, because when they married them or decided to be in a relationship with them, this was shown. Good with the kids, working, attentive, intimate, all of these things were shown. But after they jumped that broom, or after they got married, they switched on them. They did the flippity flop. Okay? So that has reaped in many of the relationships I have been blessed to support. 8, not taking mate for granted. Okay? This person always, they know I'm always going to be there. I'm always going to be the dutiful wife. I'm always going to be the supportive husband. I'm going to hold my peace. I'm going to hold my peace. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to fuss. I'm just going to take it. Okay? And you know good and well in other relationships that person would have left you. They would have left you. Or they certainly would not have taken all the abuse that you might have been dishing out. Okay? 9, providing quality time. Quality time, whatever that means to you guys. Football season, my wife and I love watching football. Don't even call me on Sunday evenings. Don't call me on Monday nights. Don't call me on Thursday nights. Me and my wife are eating chicken wings and watching football. Okay, that's part of it. Friday nights we go on dates. 10, prioritizing your mate. Does your mate feel prioritized by you? Are you doing it? Is your spouse doing it for you? Okay. All right. Let's take another quick 5 minutes, 2, 3, 4 minutes I want to give you a chance to do this. I will not be able to do the analysis for you like I normally would be when I have this and I have a chance to crunch the numbers, but I will share and show you what I normally would do. Okay, on the next slide. Can we take 5 minutes? 5 minutes. While we're taking that 5 minutes, let me just share with you guys what's happening with Kingdom Couples and what's happening with our calendar that's upcoming. Next Sunday, we will be doing Communion Sunday. Next Sunday, we will do Communion Sunday. We're asking everybody who can to please wear white. We will be serving communion. It will be somewhat ceremonial, and I'll do a presentation concerning it like we normally do. But we also will do communion for those of you who are believers and you would like to do that with your spouse. Okay, it'll be a special time. We may even have some singers and whatnot here next week, so we'll see. The following Sunday is Fifth Sunday. We are asking everybody to bring your children, the interns in the back here. I have an intern I want to introduce you guys to. The interns in the back will be spending time with your youth, talking about youth stuff. Okay, that includes high schoolers. That includes middle schoolers and elementary schoolers. We will be utilizing the other office spaces here as breakout room, and they probably will be in their circle time conversation with the interns for about 60 minutes. Your youth will come in, we'll all have dinner together, we'll all celebrate together in the first opening here, but then they will be broken out with our interns, okay? So we're looking for that to be a very special time for our youth. Speaking of interns, we have here Miss Jackson, Miss Tiara Jackson. Okay. Tiara is from Kouples, yes? From Kouples. Come on up, Sister Jackson. That's how we do this. Sister Jackson is all the way from Corpus Christi. Why don't you introduce yourself to everybody now?
Hi, I'm Tara. I am a senior at UTSA, and I recently found out about Kindling Consultants through ABSCI at UTSA, which is a Black psychologist organization on campus. And I'm a part of PsyChi, which is the International Honor Society of Psychology. So I am a little bit present on campus. I try to participate on campus, especially since it's my senior year. I enjoy sleeping. I love staying home. I have a twin sister. I'm the baby out of 4 girls. So yeah, and I'm very excited to be part of the team. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Let's hear from Ms. Jackson. All right. She is joining 2 other outstanding interns who you guys have met before, Rilio Paulus, as well as Miss Rachel that's here with her man, that we put them in a high seat last time. A couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago or so. Miss Tieta, who you guys had spent time with, who was an intern with us, she got called to duty. She's in the Army, and she's working full time. I want to say she's in the Guard or the Reserves. So she's doing full time work. Yeah, AGR. She's doing full time work. And so preferably we'll have her back next semester or so. But we usually carry about 2 to 4 interns. So don't be surprised if you see one more other person coming through the door. And we're usually here, by the way, you probably don't know this, we're usually here on Friday mornings, working away, on your behalf, and they probably will be giving you guys a call for this, that, and the third, for whatever the reason, okay? Still need some more time? Okay, you guys are good in the back? Okay, look like the Dugars need some more time. Dr. Linda, you good?
I'm good.
Okay, let's do a couple more minutes. We are planning, and we already have things in place. Thank God, several of you guys that are here now came out when we were at Ollie's Pizza a few weeks ago. We are going to Texas A&M. I want to say that's October the 25th on our college tour for this semester. It looks like we will be going to Baylor next semester. We loop the state of Texas. Based upon who is coming, we got a good little crowd at Ollie's Pizza. Texas A&M, I believe, is about 4.5 hour drive, somewhere in that range. I know we have some experienced folk that drive cross country for whatever reason, your youth activities and whatnot. You guys may want to do your own privately owned vehicle, or if we wanted to do some vans or what have you, which is what we normally do, we can pay for that. Last time I looked, the vans are like $300 to rent, so we would just divide up the cost of that and be on our way. Okay, so please think about that. We probably will start coordinating that in about 3 weeks, and then handing out registration and sign-ups, that kind of thing. So they are all ready for us down there, even the extra stuff. They are all ready for us down there. That is the weekend that LSU will be in town, LSU football. And so I'm anticipating the campus will be buzzing. I think I looked, Texas A&M is like 1-1 for their football team, I think, right now. They had a big win yesterday, I believe. And Lord knows if they are on the winning side by the time we go, it's going to be ridiculous on campus. It's going to be ridiculous, a madhouse. So we'll see just how that is unfolding. But LSU is coming to town the next day, and just take it from there. All right, let's take a look here. When you look at this tool, and you started asking yourself particular questions and answering this, did you feel sad that you were given cons here or there or pros here or there? How did you feel about it? Anybody?
It's a real assessment. It makes you really think about yourself, really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. That's the next one. We'll get to it. Anybody else? Anybody else?
Makes you reevaluate what promises you made in the beginning versus where you are at now.
Mm-hmm. I had a lady that did this assessment tool, and she was going in on her husband for real before she did this tool. Going in on her brother and giving credit. But when she did the assessment, like some of you wanted to circle both pro and con. I always have folk that's brilliant. They always want to do, can I do a half?
I did.
Can I split it?
I did.
I don't even fight it. I don't even fight it no more. I do not fight that tendency. So just go on with your bad self.
Okay.
But this one client gave herself a pro and a con in like 3 of them about herself. And she was being honest, very honest client, by the way. But when it was all said and done, she had not realized she had given herself all cons. She didn't realize she had given herself all cons, although she had given herself pros and cons in 3 or 4 of them, right? Y'all follow me? So when I said to her, and I put it back on the screen, I love putting stuff on the screen, as y'all know. When I showed her on screen, she was like, she did the You looked at her face like, yes. My sister, can you see that you've evaluated yourself, although you have brought up some very important flaws in your husband? For every one of these, you gave yourself a con. And that's somewhat of the setup of the tool. Okay, you just freely are filling it out. But then when you get the analysis, it hits you right in the face a little bit. She was saying, I'm not an engaging communicator. I am not an intimacy participant. Talking about overall, okay? I'm not financially contributing like I should be. And what I have seen over some time, family, is sometimes when a woman or a man is married to somebody who's paying all the bills, I mean all the bills, those are some of my most unhappy couples. That's a trip. You would think if you had somebody that was financially stable, just taking care of you, you would be happy. Not in the cases that I have been blessed to work with. That has not been the case. Okay. In fact, I expected it at this point. Okay. That the person who's being taken care of ultimately is going to say, I'm not content. Okay. Now, where we're at, number 4, I'm not providing respect and honor. I'm not satisfying my partner. I'm not present for him or for her. Keeping one's promises. I'm not keeping my promises. I am taking my mate for granted. I am not providing quality time. I am not prioritizing my mate. Many times my clients will say, well, you know what, Dr. Brown, it wasn't always like that. In the beginning, I was more participatory. I'm like, well, what about now? What about now? Okay. So you go through this exercise. Now we're ready for the next one, Brother Paulus. This is the scoring here. Okay. This is the scoring. And forgive me for still having the yellow highlighted, but this is the kind of like the where people fall from time to time, that kind of thing. I provide observations here at the bottom. That's the analysis that comes with it. So from an individual scaling standpoint, okay, when you look at how you grade yourself, we have somebody? Mm-hmm. When you grade yourself, you do the numbers. In this case, in the yellow, just for the sample purposes, if you're 4 to 7, you're moderately functioning. Moderately.
We're counting the pros?
These are the pros. Thank you, sweetheart. These are the pros. Okay? When you, ma'am,
count up the pros.
The pros. But y'all have to know I use the cons just as much in my analysis. The cons are a big deal. What do we have, sir?
So Mr. Joseph Grant says, maybe it speaks to not feeling a part of the upkeep of the household. Comfort breeds contempt, entitlement, ?
Repeat what Joseph wrote, please.
I think he's speaking towards the person who is being taken care of
right,
financially.
I thought so.
He says, maybe it speaks to not feeling a part of the upkeep of the household. Comfort breeds contempt, entitlement, ?
Okay. Generally speaking, what I have seen, and I can only speak from my experiences, the person who has been the greater provider has been the male in most cases, not all, but most. And the woman at home, has not been feeling loved and appreciated. But when you ask such people, is your man doing this, and this? Yes, he's pro. So it's more going on in that couple than what this captures, and I have to get them to talk it out. But you would think, and I have a mixture of younger women here, I have older women here, not old women, but just older. And the notion is, man, I love to be taken care of. Get me out of the rat race. Please, what do I need to do? That's a real feeling. And I have had clients that went because they said they couldn't find a woman in America. So they went and got them a spouse overseas. And that is happening. The clients are going overseas to find a spouse because they feel like American women will not do what they want them to do, whatever that means. So they went and got them somebody. Yes, sir.
Mr. Grant says, so lack of personal attention and quality time.
Yes, but it's probably more than that from what I have seen. It's probably more than that, Joseph. But nevertheless, the money is not it. It's maybe also what Joseph is saying and much more. Okay? Now, you have the individual scaling over here, but what I'm after at Kenlin is the couple scaling. What is your combined scores? And that tells me where you guys are as a couple. When I do more observation, if we could go back, sir, to the first slide with this. In some cases, one mate will say, well, hey, let's just say let's say if it's a female that fills this out. She says, my husband or my male companion, he's a con in engaging communication. But she gives her, he's a pro in engaging communication, but she gives herself a con. She grades herself a con. So what I look for is, what are you saying that your mate is, and what are you saying your mate is not? I'm terribly sorry. What is your mate doing that you're not doing? Let me repeat myself because I'm messing up. What is your mate doing that you are not doing? So therein lies me chasing after how the couple can be complementary of one another. I hope me trying to explain that y'all follow me. How are they complementing one another? And then I'll bring in the other assessment tools to find out what they can use, whether it's a spiritual gift assessment, okay? If a person is ranking themselves as a non-communicator, and he's not a good communicator, but in their spiritual gifts, they have the gifts of exhortation. We can use your spirit, Holy Ghost, to help you with communicating. Because inside of you, you do want to encourage. Is that making sense? Inside of you, you do want to encourage. If you have the spiritual gift of giving, but you're not a financial contributor, your spirit man or woman wants to financially give. We just got to get you in a place where you are following and pursuing what God has gifted you to do. Because if you got the money, you're going to give it. You see? We use the emotional intelligences to complement some of these things. We'll use the spiritual temperament to complement these things. We will deal with your psychological evaluations. Of course, depression, anxiety, going to throw all of this off. Okay? Depression is not going to want you to be engaging or intimate. Anxiety is going to have you too concerned about the finances, just tight and just worried to death. Okay? So depression, if somebody didn't keep their promises, it'll get compounded. You did it because you don't like me. It wasn't because you couldn't have done it, you just didn't do it. So we have to settle it down and balance it. Any comments about that? Hope I'm making sense here. Okay? So let's go back to the scaling one more time. So when you do your calculations, we're looking for all of that and more. It's proving to be a quality tool. If you're scoring up in here, and this should say It does say the con-based. You have a con-based relationship, but when you get down to the higher numbers, of course, you're looking more into you're in the pros. If your score is up there. What do I anticipate? What have I seen on the average? Most of the time when couples first start with me, they're going to fall in the middle, usually, or lower part of the middle, because they haven't learned how to communicate. They haven't learned how to communicate yet. They haven't learned that basically you're wrong. Their feelings are facts. It's my way or the highway. They have now opened themselves up to more. Yes, sir.
Mr. Grant is asking which assessment this is.
This is the pros or cons assessment, and it's brand new, Joseph. You haven't seen this one yet, but we can send it to you. Okay? So Reagan, she will have to take it too. Okay? And we'll do the analysis. All right, let's go to the next slides. I hope that has been a blessing already to you. Now we're about to get into the 5 love languages, our normal presentation. Let me just pause for a second. Many of you guys who have been here for several weeks, you have seen this. Are there any questions about any of this? And by the way, most of my slides are always available to you on our website. You can just get the whole thing. Okay, you get the whole thing. Any thoughts about any of these things? I don't necessarily have to go through them all again, but you guys have seen them each week. Okay. Let me ask this. You can write this down. See some of y'all covering up your answers a little bit. Write this down. Are you is your emotional age equivalent to your biological age? Write that down. You can cover it up if you want to. If you are 50, I'm just using a round number, are you emotionally 50? Which is to say, mature, have lived a little bit, have seen some things, and you brought those things into perspective, and you still can harvest your best wisdom. I use that word a lot. Harvest your best wisdom. I think we all have wisdom. The Lord said, look, if you ask for it, I'm going to give it to you abundantly. You just have to ask. We who don't have is only because we have not asked. We haven't made our requests known. So we respond out of our primitive nature. Are you your biological age emotionally? Yes or no? And then, is your mate their biological age emotionally? Why or why not? One of the reasons is because we stop allowing folk to give us constructive criticism. Who, Dr. Brown? Our mates. They are our supervisor of sorts. They are the benefactors of our performance as a mate. Who else gonna grade you? Your children? All they want you to do is keep pouring Captain Crunch and have milk available. Take me here, they'll buy me a car so I can get out of here. That's what they want. Your mate is the judge and jury. And prayerfully, you have a reasonable mate that can give real feedback, that's not biased. How y'all feel about that question? I wonder what you wrote down. Anybody brave want to say? I won't pressure you. Okay? What you put? I'm talking to Dr. Linda. For me. And do you think I am my biological age?
I thought you were asking about the score. Do I think you are your biological age?
Yes, sweetheart.
It depends.
Okay, you can tell
It
the truth.
depends.
What does it depend on?
Sometimes yes, but you do have tendencies to be very, very no.
Very, very no?
No, not yet in your biological age.
Okay, so how about this? And I'm putting you on the spot, and I can take it because I can take constructive criticism sometimes.
Sometimes.
I'm double nickel right now.
Right.
I know I have a voice. I'm double nickel. What would you give me emotionally? And it might not be a bad thing to be younger, I guess, but
Well, emotionally,
yes.
well, okay, so again, and it depends. I see when you are around younger people, you emotionally will be younger.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay, when you get around, say like my parents, you tend to be your age.
Okay.
But when you get around my children or your children, you do act a little bit younger because you're trying to communicate and understand and fit in with what they've got going on. So
Okay.
I think you're more of a chameleon. You alter yourself as necessary.
Okay. So what am I when I'm with you?
Oh, you're after a long day, you are your age. After not such a bad day, much younger.
Okay.
Last night, much younger.
We went to Buc-ee's last night.
It was fun.
That's a Texas thing for all y'all out there. I know y'all trying to perpetrate. I'm seeing y'all around the country with your Buc-ee's t-shirt on.
And then we went to dinner. It was fun just to be fun, you know? We just got out of that.
For those who don't know, Buc-ee's is like the biggest gas station in the world,
Yeah.
but it is more than a gas station to us. It is our treasure, the landmark here in Texas. Buc-ee's got like 100 gas tanks. I don't know, probably more than that. Yes, sir.
Miss Reagan says my chronological age exceeds my emotional intelligence.
Read that again, please.
My chronological age exceeds my emotional intelligence.
Okay. Interesting. That's her self-evaluation of herself. Okay. Anybody else want to comment about that? Don't be scared. I put myself out
See,
there.
he did it. You see that?
I went young.
Yeah.
I went young.
Yeah.
I went young. You had another one, sir? Okay. Anybody else want to tell? You don't have to. But anybody else want to speak to this? Okay. If not, we'll move on. Okay. What we're after in these workshops and in counseling is helping to develop relationship skills. Okay. That's what we're after. All right. Let me also share, and please chime in. Let me also share what I've experienced. And I always like to use the Obama scenario when they were doing their exit interview, one of their interviews. Excuse me. And if you see any of the interviews with Michelle and Barack Obama, they'll talk about their family life. And one of the comments was the girls, because he's there with a bunch of girls, a bunch of females. They rag me. They call me boring. They'll talk about my ears. They'll just talk about that. I mean, they rag on that. You perhaps have seen that. But Obama said, well, you know what? They will talk about me, but I can't talk about them. He spoke of Michelle. I can't talk about her. So she can joke with me. I can't joke about her. Sometimes dads get that. If that registers in your house, are you aware, in particular, the person who is doing the ragging, that you're ragging on that? You're ragging on your wife. Can your mate say the same thing to you as what was said to them? Can you take it? Yes or no? Can you take it? It depends. I don't know if the men get that option. I don't know if we get that option. Anybody want to comment to that? How about this?
I think
Is,
I have-
go ahead.
It's a whole, I mean, with it just being guys.
Yeah, it is.
I think pretty much everybody just kind of has thick skin. I mean, they don't really, I wouldn't say brag on me, but I mean, they just, bragging is, bragging is like,
tugboats.
that's like talking. I mean, that's like, I mean.
That's normal conversation.
Yeah, we have tugboats.
That's normal.
Okay.
We have tugboaters.
What does that mean?
Tugboaters are ones that when the conversation doesn't suit their needs or they feel like someone else has a better point that they just now finished getting on, they'll switch teams very, very swiftly.
Wow.
And so we generally, whenever there's a tugboat situation, we generally say, oh, okay.
Okay. Lewis, has y'all got anything to add to that? Curious, I see y'all body language back there. Can you take it? Can you take it? Is somebody getting ragged on?
In Lewis household.
Okay, wonderful. I saw you, again, your body language. I'm looking at your wife. Let's go to the next slide. Let's go
I
to
got a comment, Dr. Brown.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is
Yeah, so Josepher said, I'm older than my emotional age too, so he admits that. And then Reagan says, it depends. If there's an audience, some may tend to perform.
Oh my goodness.
That gets a tugboat.
Oh my goodness.
Someone said it. Someone said it.
Here's something that I will say.
That's so funny.
Especially in our household, right? There's certain levels that you can touch on.
Okay.
Right. Once it looks like you're starting to go for kneecaps, things of that nature. I have this very saying that I've heard and I've always kept it with me. Don't come for me unless I call for you. So we can play around all until I feel like you coming for me. Then that's when I'm gonna let off a shot or a warning shot. Let you know, okay, hey, I got something on you too. Back up. Right. And then if you keep on going, oh well. Okay. It is what it is at this point. Ding ding.
Okay.
I'm right.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Miss Reagan
Thank you,
says, then ragging turns into humiliation.
Yeah. And you're going below the belt now.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and you know that's what Dugal Marcus was just saying. But what's the threshold? If your comments, and you know what, God.